Welcome back to another episode of City Skylines 1 with me, the Big Cat, here in Wakiville. We're going to go ahead and dive right in today to our city. As you can see, we have some dead people lingering around. We're going to have to do something about that in this episode, as well as probably deal with some traffic issues, because traffic issues are going to result in trash laying around. Trash laying around is going to result in problems. So let's dive right in without any further information. Go ahead, leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment for your input into these videos. I'd greatly appreciate it. Alright, so first off, we need to look at our crematoriums, which I kind of like to use this content creator one. I think I am going to throw down a cemetery over here. I think it'd be cute right along the water back here. I think we're going to throw down a couple of those. Let's just figure this out. Just do a little bit of terrain softening there. It's not going to let us do it, but we're going to put a couple of crematoriums in right next to this. All right, that ought to take care of this area as far as our death goes. Over here, we're going to use the regular crematorium just to tuck it in pretty easily somewhere here. Maybe we can use this one. No, far too big for the block sizes. Oh, that'll work. We'll tuck her in there. Okay, now, if we come over here, I'm going to throw a couple of these bad daddies in right along there. And that ought to help take care of the death over there. We have crematoriums over here. We have one. This one ought to take care of those ones. We need one way out here. I'm thinking tuck it in somewhere. Maybe right there. Alright. Let's go ahead and push our play button. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, you can see the upgrades happening as we're looking at all this traffic. All right, you can see upgrades are happening as we are looking around here a little bit. Let's go check out our garbage processing. So I think the time has come that we separate this highway right here. I think we separate it from this one. But I think before we can do that, we need to add in a couple connections. I think starting with one right here. I think buying a tile would probably be our best option. Buy this tile right here to be able to move right in. Gets us our tile we needed. And we're actually going to look at putting in we're going to slow this down. We have $4 million. We have plenty of money to do this, so we're going to look into putting in a clover leaf up here. Somewhere in that vicinity right there. Yeah, I think that'll be the good spot for it, actually. Straight up from where we were with that bridge. So with us destroying the highway, we are going to pause the game and to do this with one of our intersections. We're going to look at this little miniature one here. Bulldoze that. We'll go ahead and bring this up just a little bit. Alright. Let's see, where's that put us? Puts us down too far. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go right like that. I think that'll be perfect. Go ahead and throw that in. Oh, yeeks. Shit. I'm going to change it up here. We're going to bulldoze all this out of here. Because I just made a big, huge mess. We're going to level this out before we do anything. Yeah, we're going to level out this pad before we do anything. We'll give ourselves a nice level area to work with here. And then we'll come back and fix this all up whenever we get everything in that we want to put in. That ain't going to work. I think the one that we have is the way to go. I just don't like how that's laying in there. I don't like it at all. So we'll figure it out. Come back to it in a minute. I think we might have to use a different interchange. No, that's not the one either. Let's go back here to intersections. We're just going to move on down a little bit here. This one will work. I think we have it figured out now. I think we figured out which one we want to go with, folks. This is a pretty major project for the city. So, putting in a nice big clover leaf, it's going to give us access to the other side of the highway, which may actually turn into a university back in here. I could see a university really being interested in this area back here, or an industrial specialization being interested, one of the two. So let's get this hooked back up. It should hook up pretty well. And then we're probably going to have to do some work on this side to get this one to hook up correctly. We're going to have to do some cleaning up of the property of the area here before we do anything. Grab the soften tool and soften this up. Come on, soften out, soften out. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to come out from here at 180 degrees until hopefully we can catch that guy line right there. We're going to come out. Degrees. Alright. That's not a half bad connection. Once we get the directionality spun around here, we can go ahead and resume the game, let the simulation continue. Alright, now that works. Yeah, that ain't bad connections at all. I kind of like how that turned out, actually. Okay. And we are going to go ahead and connect up this side. We're just going to make it into a little loop around for now, because we're not going to use this area at the moment. Hopefully, once we get this upgraded into the highway we want it to be, things will slowly but surely change as far as people coming into the city and such. Hopefully as soon as we have the situation to be able to do this, we'll be able to get her done. We do have one piece of road here somewhere. Some odd pieces of road that are not hooking up. Oh, it's right here. The whole thing is backwards. There we go. Now, as you can see, people are big time interested in coming in off this exit ramp here. That should help with our next project, which is to elevate the highway up over top of this highway and just come straight through, and it'll avoid all this traffic coming down through here and stopping. But elevating this highway is going to take a little bit more work than we can actually think about at the moment. It's just not going to be. Well, let's start with this one. This one's already elevated back here, so let's start by eliminating this. This connection right here gets eliminated. And then this can come down through. Now let's see if that helps at all. Let's check our traffic percentage here. 49%, so I think we're going to go ahead and eliminate this one and this one. We're going to eliminate this entire connection through here, just like we did on the other side. We're going to come out of here at 180 degrees. Okay, so now we have this highway separated from that highway, which is something we've been saying we're going to do since we put this elevation in back here. So we're going to elevate that up and give a direct connection into this residential area. Now at the current moment, this highway doesn't really go anywhere. Let's see what that did our traffic percentage. So yeah, that did our traffic percentage good. It's kind of a mixed bag of rocks on whether we bring this one up over the top or this one up over the top. I'm thinking this one. We're just going to elevate this. I'm thinking that might be our best bet. Okay. Now let's see if that'll flow through. We're going to eliminate this little crossover piece. We're going to eliminate that. Make them rethink their routes. Now that seems to be able to bring traffic through. That seems to be able to let traffic go through. We are going to be redoing these two bridges so that everything lines up. I just haven't gotten to it yet. We're at 56% traffic flow, so that's like a 12% increase. 55% traffic flow. So, need that. I'm not going to have that turnaround there anymore. Now with that being elevated, with that bridge coming in, let's run some TPME on this road right here. We'll go like that, and that ought to help us to keep things moving in the right direction. Okay, so now that got some traffic split up over onto here. That definitely allowed for some maneuvering that wasn't there before. Now I'm debating if we go ahead and make this connection. We come out of here, go up into there, and connect this up to this highway as well. Put in a little three-way intersection. Let's go ahead and pause the game and let's do that as well. Because I have a feeling a lot of this traffic coming down that other side over there is probably coming into this industrial area. So let's go ahead, we'll pull this out. We're going to come right here. I'm going to come off. I'm going to come off this road far enough. I'm going to actually switch this over to this road so I have my blocks to be able to look at. Because I like to leave a certain amount of space between my roads. Just helps to have an alignment pattern, you know. And now we're going to come through here. And this is probably going to be the game changer that will allow us to have a much better traffic flow than what we had before. So let's just run this on up until we get to the highway. Alright, we're in the vicinity. We're close enough to be able to line everything up. So let's go ahead and back this up some more. A lot of destruction today, a lot of destruction to make everything work the way it needs to work. Once again, we're dealing with a slope issue, and we will go ahead and just flatten that out. I'm going to increase the brush size. I'm going to try the smoothie tool. I don't think that's getting us where we need to go, though. Alright, now we should be able to put down our highway piece, our intersection. And once we get this put in, we're going to let things run for a few minutes and see what happens. Okay, so we're just going to directly straight line these at the moment. We'll come back later possibly and clean this up if we need to. Plow that out of there. And come right up through here. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. We're going to come right down to here. We're going to connect up. And then we're going to blow this out. We're going to push this through. And then we're going to come into our highways. We're going to upgrade this. All of it. The whole thing's going to be a highway road. And then we are going to have to move those incineration plants around for capabilities. Okay, now this is probably going to be the difference maker in some of that industrial traffic. Getting it out of the city and into the industrial area. I guess we're going to have to let this play and find out in time if that is in fact the case. Because things seem to be moving along here. Let's go ahead and push the 3 button. Now let's see how this traffic percentage does. We are going to eliminate this little turnaround right here. That ain't necessary. There's another way out of those plans that they can use. That one's totally upgradable. That one is not. So we're going to go in here to our one-way roads. I bet you if we give this just a few minutes here, we're going to see things really change as far as traffic flow goes. Because that right there is going to be a much faster route into the city for the industrial stuff. As you can see, a lot of this red has already gone away. We're at 54%. We started out at 41. I mean, this highway is just kind of burnt out in that spot where it stops there at the moment until we buy another tile or something or need that connection. We do have this main artery, and this right here, it just seems like it's not going to get much better than what it is. But as you can see, there's definitely traffic movement now. Yeah, we might bring this road across and hook up to that just to allow for a back exit out of this industrial space. Let's bring that through and see if that helps at all with keeping people moving. That's not too bad. Let's see what happens here in a little bit of time. Yeah, let's see what happens here in a little bit of time. Trying to watch the traffic number here. It's gone down to 54%, but there's a lot of rerouting going on right now. So we have to give this some time. I think I might stop the recording here, call it the episode, let this run for a few and see what happens in a little bit of time. Well, hold on, we may not be able to do that. Garbage processing is where it needs to be. Traffic is flowing much better now. 52%. So yeah, we're gonna call the episode here, I think. We're gonna let this run for about 15-20 minutes here. We're still sitting on a 26,000 person population. We're sitting on a $4 million in the bank, even with what we've done today. So everything's looking good there. Our traffic is back up to 54%. Maybe I'll play with it some more off camera, because we do have another highway that we could possibly, that is plowed up through here. So we could possibly lift this up over the top of here, eliminate this intersection, which will eliminate people using the highway to go back and forth. The same with this one. I think that might be our next step, is to eliminate this intersection and bring it up and connect it up to here and make people use this spine system here that we have to get in and out of the city. Because this really runs from this little bit of a connection over here. This highway system should be working better than it is, but it's not working. So we're gonna have to do some thought processes on that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this into a highway here, just to see if that changes anything. because there really is no connection into here. Because this goes out, I believe. Yeah, this goes out. But see, we're backed all the way up to here. Which could be as simple as just raising this up over top of this intersection. Yeah. If we eliminate this connection, it's going to cause cars to go down there and come up a different way. That might help out, actually. Yeah, look at that. That just cleared out all kinds of traffic. It was that intersection was too close to the ramps. I could see in future times this not existing. We turned this and did all this big stuff, but it doesn't really do anything once you get to this side. In fact, it doesn't even run the whole way up through the city. I could see eliminating this entire bridge and bringing just the single road across here and not having this highway connection or this one. Just running that highway straight through and using this as our connection into the city. I could see that as a very strong possibility. There is a lot of looping going on, though, and our population is growing, so we must be doing something right. But I think for today, we're going to call it an episode, and we'll see you next time right here in Wakiville. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and let us know where you want to go with the next video. Thank you, and have a great day.